Hello, everyone. Let me ask you something. Who are you waiting for? Who do you think is going to come and hand you your dream? Who's going to show up and put in the hours, take the risks, push past the failures, and build the life you say you want? No one is coming to save you. No one is going to knock on your door and hand you the life you want. That fantasized one where someone sees your potential, lifts you up, and gives you everything you need is a lie. You've been conditioned to believe that success happens when the right person notices you, when the timing is perfect, when the opportunity just falls into place. But that's not how it works. The world does not care if you succeed. The world does not owe you anything. And the sooner you accept that, the sooner you take full responsibility for your life. Most people spend their entire lives waiting. Waiting for the right moment, waiting for someone to believe in them, waiting for a sign that it's time to start. But the truth is, if you need a sign, here it is, get up and go. There is no magic moment, no perfect circumstances, no one who will swoop in and make things easier. The people who succeed in life are the ones who understand that action must come before everything else. They don't wait to feel ready. They don't wait for permission. They don't sit around hoping that someday someone will come along and make it all happen for them. They move, even when it's uncomfortable, even when they're scared, even when the odds are against them. You have been taught to seek guidance, to look for mentors, to rely on others to show you the way. And while guidance is valuable, it cannot replace action. Too many people use advice seeking as a crutch, as an excuse to delay doing the work. They convince themselves they need more knowledge, more reassurance, more certainty before they can begin. But those who win in life are the ones who figure things out along the way. They take imperfect action. They fail, they learn, they adapt. They don't waste time waiting for someone else to give them the green light. Nobody's going to hand you confidence. Nobody's going to give you the discipline to show up every single day. Nobody's going to push you when you feel like quitting. That has to come from you. The people you admire, the ones who have achieved what you want, didn't get there by waiting for someone to pull them up. They got there because they made a decision, an unshakable decision to take control of their lives. They stopped looking for external motivation and started building their own momentum. Most people will never reach their potential because they never accept that their success is entirely in their hands. They blame their circumstances, their past, their lack of resources, their environment. They tell themselves stories about why they can't move forward, but the truth is, no matter where you start, no matter how difficult your situation is, no matter what obstacles stand in your way, the only thing that will determine whether or not you succeed is your willingness to act. Think about this. How many people do you know who talk about what they're going to do but never actually do it? How many people say they're waiting for the right time, the right partner, the right amount of money, the right support system, and where do they end up? Exactly where they started. The only difference between those who succeed and those who don't is that the successful ones take action despite not having all the answers. The hardest truth to accept is that no one is obligated to help you. You might have people who love you, people who support you, people who want the best for you, but at the end of the day, your success is not their responsibility. It's yours. You can either accept that and take control, or you can keep waiting for something that will never come. Believing in yourself is not something that happens when others recognize your worth. It is not something that comes from external validation, from applause, from someone telling you that you have what it takes. If you rely on the opinions of others to determine your value, you are handing them control over your life. You are making their doubts, their fears, and their limitations your own. And if you do that, you will always be trapped in a cycle of waiting for someone to approve of you, waiting for someone to recognize your talent, waiting for someone to give you permission to go after what you want. The truth is, no one will believe in you until you believe in yourself first. People follow confidence. People invest in certainty. And if you don't exude that, if you don't carry yourself with the energy of someone who knows they are going to win, no one is going to take you seriously. Most people make the mistake of thinking that belief follows success. They assume that once they achieve something, then they will feel confident. Then they will trust themselves. Then they will stop doubting. But that is completely backwards. Success follows belief, not the other way around. You have to believe before you see the results. You have to trust yourself before there is proof. Most people never achieve what they want because they wait for the world to give them a sign. They wait for someone to tell them they are good enough. But if you need someone else to believe in you before you take action, you've already lost. You cannot build something great while seeking approval. You cannot step into your full potential while being addicted to the opinions of others. The people who win in life are the ones who understand that belief is a choice, not a reaction. They don't wait for someone to validate them. They don't ask for permission. They decide that they are worthy, that they are capable, and they move forward with that conviction. The problem is that most people have been conditioned to seek validation their entire lives. From childhood, they are taught to raise their hand for permission, to wait for authority figures to tell them they are doing a good job, to look for approval before taking action. This conditioning creates a dependency on external validation, making people afraid to take risks, afraid to stand alone, afraid to trust themselves when no one else is clapping. And that fear is exactly what keeps them stuck. They hesitate, they second guess, they wait for reassurance that never comes. Meanwhile, the ones who succeed are the ones who have learned to give themselves the validation they need. They don't need someone to tell them they are good enough. They don't need a pat on the back. They just move. People will doubt you. They will criticize you. They will question why you think you can do something different, something bigger, something outside of what is considered normal. And if you rely on their approval, you will fold. You will shrink. You will give up before you even get started. But if you understand that their opinions are irrelevant, that their beliefs have nothing to do with what you are capable of, then you become unstoppable. Because now you are no longer controlled by what they think. Now you are driven by something deeper, something that doesn't require outside validation. The most powerful thing you can do is to stop needing others to believe in you. To stop waiting for encouragement, to stop searching for proof that you are ready. The moment you decide that you are enough, that you are capable, that you are worthy of success, regardless of what anyone else says that is, the moment everything changes. That is when you become the kind of person who makes things happen instead of waiting for things to happen. Most people crave recognition. They want to be seen, acknowledged, and praised for their efforts. They want someone to notice their hard work and validate their progress. But if you're waiting for applause, you're setting yourself up for failure. Because in the beginning, no one will clap for you. No one will cheer you on. No one will congratulate you for the effort you're putting in. And if you need that to keep going, you will quit before you ever reach success. The truth is, success is built in silence. It's built in the early mornings and the late nights when no one is watching. It's built when you're grinding alone, when you're sacrificing your comfort, when you're showing up day after day with no immediate results. This is where most people break. They expect progress to come with recognition, but when they don't see it, they start doubting. They wonder if they're doing the right thing, if they're on the right path. They look around for validation, and when they don't get it, they stop. But the ones who succeed are the ones who don't need a round of applause to keep going. They put in the work whether anyone notices or not. People won't acknowledge your effort until they see results. They won't recognize your discipline until you've already won. They won't believe in you until you've given them proof. And this is why so many people fail. They can't handle being invisible. They can't handle putting in the work with no immediate reward. They need validation. And when they don't get it, they assume they're on the wrong path. But if you truly want success, you need to understand that recognition comes last. First comes the struggle. First comes the doubt. First comes the lonely nights, the rejection, the failure. That's what separates those who succeed from those who don't. The ability to keep going when there's no one cheering for you. There will be times when you question everything, when you wonder if all the effort is worth it, when you feel like giving up because no one seems to care about what you're doing. This is the test. This is where most people stop. They start looking for shortcuts, for easier paths, for ways to get noticed faster, but success doesn't work that way. If you're only doing the work for recognition, you'll never make it. The ones who make it are the ones who are willing to put in the effort, even when no one is paying attention. You have to be okay with being overlooked. You have to be okay with grinding in the dark, with putting in work that no one acknowledges, with building something that no one believes in yet. Because one day, when the results finally show, everyone will act like they always knew you would make it. They will suddenly see your value. They will suddenly praise your work ethic. They will suddenly tell others how they knew you had what it takes. but you will know the truth. You will know that none of them were there when it mattered. None of them saw the long hours, the frustration, the sacrifices, and that's why you can't do it for them. Success isn't about proving others wrong. It's not about forcing people to notice you. It's about proving yourself right. It's about showing up because you said you would. It's about putting in the effort because you believe in what you're doing, not because you need someone else to believe in you. The work you put in when no one is watching is what determines whether or not you succeed. Most people will never experience true success because they aren't willing to keep going without recognition. But if you can embrace the grind, if you can push through the days when no one sees your effort, you will reach a level of success that most people never will. Struggle is where growth happens. It is the place where the weak break and the strong rise. It is the fire that forges discipline, resilience, and strength. But most people run from it. They avoid discomfort, they fear hardship, and they do everything they can to escape struggle. What they don't realize is that the struggle is necessary. The struggle is the price of greatness. You do not get to win without paying that price. You do not get to succeed without first enduring the process that shapes you into the person capable of handling success. When you set out to do something big, something meaningful, something outside the norm, you will face resistance. You will face setbacks. You will face failures so painful that you will question why you even started. This is where most people quit. They assume that struggle is a sign that they are on the wrong path. They take obstacles as proof that their dream is not meant for them. They convince themselves that it shouldn't be this hard. But that is a lie. The struggle is not there to stop you. It is there to test you, to shape you, to separate those who are committed from those who are merely interested. Most people want an easy path. They want shortcuts. They want the rewards without the work. But that is not how life works. Look at anyone who has built something great, who has achieved something extraordinary, and you will see a person who has endured pain, rejection, failure, and struggle. You will see someone who refused to give up, someone who embraced the process, someone who understood that growth only happens when you are pushed beyond your limits. The problem is that most people are unwilling to go through that process. They want the end result, but they are not willing to suffer for it. Struggle exposes who you really are. It reveals your weaknesses, your doubts, your insecurities. It forces you to confront the parts of yourself that you would rather ignore. This is why most people run from it. They don't want to face the truth. They don't want to acknowledge the gaps in their discipline, the flaws in their mindset, the areas where they lack the necessary skills. But if you can face it, if you can lean into it instead of running away, you will find something incredible on the other side. You will find growth. You will find strength you didn't know you had. You will find a version of yourself that is capable of achieving everything you have ever wanted. The reason why struggle is necessary is because it prepares you for what comes next. You cannot handle success if you have not first endured failure. You cannot sustain victory if you have not built the strength to carry the weight of responsibility that comes with it. This is why so many people who achieve quick success lose it just as fast. They never went through the struggle. They never built the habits, the resilience, the mindset required to maintain success. They were given the reward without the process, and as a result, they were not ready for it. Most people will do everything they can to avoid pain. They will take the easier road, even if it means settling for a life that is less than what they are capable of. But those who truly succeed are the ones who make a different choice. They are the ones who step into the fire, who embrace the challenge, who understand that every obstacle, every failure, every setback is an opportunity to become better, stronger, and more prepared for what is ahead. Struggle is not your enemy. It is your greatest teacher. It is the force that will either break you or build you, and the choice is entirely yours. Discipline is the difference between success and failure. It is what separates those who dream from those who achieve. Most people rely on motivation to take action, but motivation is unreliable. It comes and goes. It is fleeting, inconsistent, and impossible to sustain over the long term. If you wait until you feel like doing something, you will never accomplish anything worthwhile. The people who succeed in life, in business, in health, in relationships, in any area, are the ones who do what needs to be done whether they feel like it or not. Discipline is what keeps you going when motivation disappears. It is waking up early when you would rather sleep. It is putting in the work when no one is watching. It is choosing long-term success over short-term comfort. Most people never develop this because they are addicted to feeling good in the moment. They look for the easy way out, the path of least resistance. They tell themselves they will start tomorrow, that they need to feel more inspired, that they need the right conditions to take action. But the truth is, the right conditions never come. There will always be an excuse, always a reason to procrastinate, always a distraction pulling you away from what you should be doing. If you let those things control you, you will stay stuck exactly where you are. Success is not about talent. It is not about luck. It is about consistency. It is about showing up every single day, regardless of how you feel. The greatest athletes, the best entrepreneurs, the most successful people in any field are not necessarily the smartest or the most gifted. They are the ones who have mastered the ability to show up, put in the work, and keep moving forward even when they don't feel like it. They do not make decisions based on emotions. They do not negotiate with themselves. They commit and they follow through. Most people want results, but they are not willing to pay the price. They want to be in shape, but they don't want to train when they're tired. They want to build a business, but they don't want to work after hours. They want to be successful, but they are not willing to sacrifice their comfort to get there. And that is why they fail. Because the moment things get hard, they quit. They fall back into their old habits. They let their feelings dictate their actions instead of sticking to the plan. Discipline is not something you're born with. It is something you develop. It is a muscle that grows stronger every time you use it. The more you push yourself to do things you don't want to do, the easier it becomes. The more you stick to your commitments, the less likely you are to break them. But if you always give in to your excuses, if you always choose comfort over progress, you will never build the discipline required to succeed. You will stay in the same place, repeating the same patterns, wondering why your life never changes. People think that successful individuals have some secret advantage, that they have more time, more energy, more resources. But the only real advantage they have is their ability to stay consistent, to push through discomfort, to do what needs to be done even when they don't want to. They understand that discipline is freedom. It is the ability to take control of your life instead of being controlled by your emotions, your environment, or your circumstances. It is the ability to decide what you want and then take relentless action toward it day after day, no matter what. It is what turns goals into reality. It is what turns potential into achievement. It is what separates those who talk about success from those who actually live it. The right time never comes. If you are waiting for the stars to align, for all the conditions to be perfect, you will be waiting forever. Life doesn't hand you a perfect moment to take action. It doesn't present you with a clear, safe path that guarantees success. The truth is, the perfect moment doesn't exist. Every person you admire who has achieved greatness didn't wait for the right time. They made their time. They created it. They took action even when things weren't ideal. They moved forward without all the answers, without the certainty, without knowing exactly how everything would play out. They understood that the only thing that truly matters is making a decision and taking the first step, even when you feel unprepared. Waiting for the perfect moment is a trap. It is an excuse wrapped in procrastination. People tell themselves they will start once they have more time, once they have more money, once they have more experience, once the economy is better, once their circumstances are different. But if you keep waiting for everything to line up just right, you will never do anything. The reality is, things are never going to be perfect. There will always be obstacles. There will always be reasons not to start. There will always be distractions trying to pull you away from your goals. But if you keep waiting for everything to be perfect, you will always be one step behind. The most successful people in the world didn't wait for a perfect moment. They created their own momentum by taking immediate action. They didn't wait for things to get easier. They did the hard things first. They took risks when it was uncomfortable. They made decisions when they didn't have all the information, and they kept going even when the path wasn't clear. The key is not waiting for the right time. It's deciding to start now with what you have. where you are. You have to learn how to embrace uncertainty. You have to be okay with not knowing exactly what the next step looks like. That's the nature of success. There is no clear roadmap. You make it as you go. You figure it out on the fly, you fail, you learn, and you adapt. But none of that can happen if you're sitting around waiting for the right time to begin. Here's the truth. You will never be fully ready. You will never have everything figured out. You will never have all the resources you think you need. But what you will have is the ability to take the first step. And that is the most important thing. The first step leads to the next, and the next, and the next. Each step, no matter how small, moves you closer to where you want to be. Inaction, on the other hand, keeps you stuck in the same place, dreaming of what could be, but never making it a reality. Every day you wait, every day you hesitate, every day you delay starting is another day lost, another day you could have spent moving forward. The longer you wait for the perfect moment, the further you push your dream away. The best time to start was yesterday. The second best time is now. Most people never achieve what they want because they never get started. They talk about their goals, they plan, they prepare, but they never take the first step. They wait for conditions to improve, for things to feel right, for the perfect opportunity to present itself. But here's the truth: opportunity doesn't wait for you to feel ready. It doesn't give you a heads up. You have to create it by taking action. Every step you take creates momentum. Every choice you make moves you in the direction of your dreams. Stop waiting for permission. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. Stop waiting for everything to be aligned. The perfect time to start is now. The moment you take action, no matter how small, is the moment your life begins to change. In the end, you are the only one who holds the power to create the life you want. No one will do it for you, and no one is coming to save you. The world doesn't owe you anything, and success will not come to you because you hope for it. You have to go after it relentlessly, with discipline, belief in yourself, and a willingness to face the struggle head on. The key to success is to take action, to move forward even when things aren't perfect, to embrace discomfort, and to stay committed to your journey despite the challenges. Stop waiting for the right moment, the right conditions, or the right amount of support. Start now. The time to act is always today. When you take responsibility for your own success and stop looking outside of yourself for validation or permission, you will begin to see the results you desire. Your potential is limitless, but it only becomes real when you take consistent, unwavering steps toward your dreams.